So what we learned last week is about the file handling in the Python. Okay. Nathan, what is the file handling?
Like using Python to make files and writing them and arrange them.
Yeah. File handling, which means using the code programming to do some manipulation, right, against the file, including what? Create a file, right, and write or update the file, right, read the file, and what? Delete the file. Okay, that is one of the important modules. Inside almost all the programming languages, right? Manipulating on the file. Okay. So then the critical thing is how we can access a file, right? If I have a file, right? When we say file, it's usually okay related to the file path. What is the file path? Jeffrey, what is the file path? Jeffrey? Jeffrey? Jeffrey there? Hello? Okay. Julian, you there?
Wait, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, Jeffrey, what is the file path?
A file path is the directory it's in.
What are you guys doing? Jeffrey, where are you?
Oh, I'm at Avon's house. They're talking.
Okay. Fine. So when we say talking about the file, right? Sorry about the input. We already said there is a concept of file path, right? File. Everybody knows, right? When we say file, there must be a file name, right? Look at here. I have.
Oh no, it was our botany.
Jeffrey. Okay, yeah, muted. Thank you. So when we talk about file, if you look at the left panel, right, you're gonna see the structure. Okay. In the whole file system, okay, we basically have two main concepts. First one is called a folder, or we also call it directory. Okay, folder, directory. So which is a package of something, right? A folder can have file, but inside a folder you can also have a folder. Okay, and the root level, even you can have a folder tree. What does it mean? Like this. I have a, in this case, my root folder is first Python. Okay, and I have those child folder. These are called child folder. Okay, and for each child folder, if you open that, you're gonna see, right? There could be files. Okay, and the file, the difference between the file and file folder is the file is an actual element, right, or the artifact, which is containing the content, right? And I can have different type of file, right? TXT file, which is text file. We can have an image file, right? We can have a Word document, Word file, right? And usually they have different ending file extension. Like here, we said, hey, this is a Python file, so it's ending with .py, right? If you're gonna see it's a Word document file, it's gonna end with .doc, right? If it's image file, it could be ending with .jpg. Okay, so that's a concept of folder and file, right? Again, a folder can have a folder. Okay, it's just like a tree, as you can see here, right? Folder can have folder, folder can have a folder, right? And a folder can have mix of folder and file. So the level, we put all the level together, is called a file path. What does it mean? Okay, here. Suppose I'm asking what is the file path of the gain.py? What's the file path? First, we need to know what's the root folder, right? Here, the root folder is first py slash, right? And then under the first Python, okay, folder, what's the folder? It's the next one. It's a project, right? We say, hey, project, right? Project. And then under the project folder, I have the file gain.py. Okay, so that's called a complete file path. Okay, so sometimes, okay, you may not starting from the root folder. What does it mean? If you are here, it depends on like where the execution point, right? Suppose I run the code here, I run the code, right? And then I wanted to access the file which is outside my folder, right? So then we have to using what? We have to using change directory, right? So there's basically, we said if the folder is underneath from the current folder, you just put the subfolder name, right? But if it's up level, one level up, right, can be a parent folder. So using // What does it mean? So it means if I'm here in the file create, right? I wanted to access the test.py. What I have to do is I need to, because my current folder is this one, right? I need to go to one level up, go to this folder, and underneath this folder, I can find the test.py, right? So the file path will be // one level up, right? And then find out test.py. Okay, look at it again, right? I'm here. Suppose I'm here, file create, right? I need to access the test.py. So I have to go to, this is my current folder, okay? It's my current folder, okay? I need to go to one folder up, go here, and then under this folder, I should be able to find the test.py. Okay, so that is the file path, right? So now, when we're talking about manipulation, right, against a file, right, the most important function we're using is what? Julian, what is the function we're using to access a file in Python?
What?
What is the function we're using to access a file?
Open.
Very good, right? Usually we create a variable first, okay? And then we're using open. My question is open. Why you can use open directly? Why? When we talk about the function, right? We said, hey, if you want to create or use some function, you have to create it, right? You have to define it, right? We have to say, hey, define function, what else, blah, 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 right? And you have function, then you are able to using that, right? Why you can using open directory? I didn't have a definition of open function, right? Why? Louis, you know why? Louis? Hello, Louis, you there?
What's the question?
The question is why I can use the open function directly. Shouldn't there should be a definition of the open function first? Remember, we learned function, right? You need to have the function first, right? Then I can call a open function, right? But I don't think we have that.
I think it's
Right?
I think it's a built-in function or something.
Yeah, you said built-in, right? Very good. Okay, just like what? One more example of built-in function, which you can use directly without definition, without defined by yourself. Any more example? Victor, you know? Remember? Any function we are using directly without decline or define by ourselves. Victor.
Add.
What?
Like sum or add.
Add. I don't think we have a built-in function called add, okay? Victor, do you remember? Okay, the most common or popular, right? Like print. Agree? Print is a function, right? You're using print function directly. Okay, come back here. Yes, we're going to use the open function. It's a built-in function. So what is the parameter? Louis, you there?
Yeah, I just came back.
What is the parameters for the open function?
I think you're supposed to put in like the file and everything, like if you're supposed to read or write to create.
Okay. First parameter, you have to put the file path again, right? It's a file path. It's not just the file name. Okay. And what else? What's the second parameter?
The R, W, or C.
We call that. You can call that action mode, right? It's basically how or you're gonna work, or how you're gonna manipulate against the file, right? So what is the different type we have? R. Remember? Louis, continue. What is the other different mode we have?
R is read, and then W is write, and then X is I think delete, and then C is create. And that's as far as I remember.
X is what? X is delete?
Yeah.
X is not delete.
Okay.
So R for read is correct. W for write is correct. Okay. And then we have two more, right? Nathan, do you remember? What are the other two? Oh, we don't have C, okay? By the way, we don't have C.
X is make a file.
X is create. Another one.
A is append.
Append, right? Good, right? So A for append. Okay. What's the difference between append and write? Huh? What's the difference between append and write?
Write overrides whatever is in the file, but append just adds on to it.
Okay, very good, right? When we say write, which means clean up everything, existing content, and overwrite it, right? Write it again. Right? And then append means continue, right? Just add the new content till the end of the current content. Okay, so that's a 4 different modes, right? Okay, so suppose I'm here, right? I'm testing.py. Okay, let me show you again. Testing.py. Now I wanted to open a file, okay? So let me give a name instead of test.tx. Yeah, txt, right? It's a text file. Okay. Put R. Read. Okay. And now I print out what? Print out the content. Okay. How can I print out a content from a file? Julian, do you remember? I have opened a file in read mode. Now I want to print out the content. What should I do? Julian?
F. Print F.
Print F. That's it?
Yes.
Are you sure? I don't think so. I don't think so. File is just an object of the file, right? We need to get the content. Anyone, Louis, remember how to get the content from file?
I don't know, just write.
Huh? After what?
Read.
Read, right? After read. And again, this is a function. Okay, this is a function. So f.read, okay, gonna read the content from the file. Which file? Test.txt. And then what? Print out on the console. Okay, so that is my code. Now, if I run this, okay, what's will be the result? Listen, if I run this code, what will be the result?
Error.
Why?
There's nothing in text.txt.
What? Why is error?
I don't know.
Okay. Julian,
Eh?
what's the result of this? It's an arrow. It does throw an arrow. Why? Just try to think about what I'm trying to do. Open the file, right, in the read mode and try to read the content and print out the content. And I said it's filled.
It'll print what's inside the file.
Huh? What did you say?
It'll print whatever is inside the file.
Yeah, the logic correct, right? But I said it's give me error. Why?
Because you didn't do the // because it's not in the same folder.
Oh, // Okay, here, where am my location? Okay, my root folder is first Python. Underneath that, right, I have these folders. I also have these files. Pay attention here. All of them are on the same level. They are under the same folder, so they are under the same on the same file level, file system level. Okay. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to read a file called test.txt. Based on this file path, where should I looking for the file? Tell me, where should I looking for the file? And which folder? Aston.
The test folder.
Which one? Which folder?
Test.
I didn't put test folder here. I didn't put a folder name. I just put a file name.
Oh, first Python.
Yes. So if I without any without any folder name / whatever or / whatever, okay, or / without anything, if I just have the file name, which means current folder. Which one is current folder? I'm in the test.py. This is my file. My current folder is what? First py, first Python. So which means I try to open the file called the test.txt file in the current folder. Do I have, Julian, do I have test.txt in current folder?
Yeah.
Where? Where? You said yeah? Where did you find? These are all my file. We have test.txt. I don't have. Right. Look at arrow. File not found arrow. No such file or directory test.txt. If you want to do some manipulation against the file, make sure the file is existing. Otherwise, give it error. But of course, we have a way to avoid the error. How?
You need to create the file.
How can I create a file?
F equals open.
What equals to open? F equals to open. Okay, F equals to open. Then you just modify. Okay, modify here. What should I modify in this code? To avoid.
Change the R to D.
Replace R with what?
D.
D.
Yeah.
D?
Yes.
You create a model by yourself. What's the mode D? We're just talking about there's only 4 modes, right? R for read, W for write, A for append, X for create.
Oh, A.
A. Why A? A is append,
Because
right?
A adds.
Huh?
A adds the file.
Okay, let me tell you. We said R, A, W, X. Among the 4 different modes, right? Which mode gonna work in this code, right? If I don't have this file existing. That's my question. Among these 4 different modes, which are working, put it here, right? When I accept this testing file, testing.txt file, and without throwing any error. Nathan,
Yeah.
what's my question?
I don't know.
Okay? I know somebody of you are not listening to me. Okay? Look at other screens, and then while I name your name, right? You just switch back. It don't work, I told you, okay? Victor, have a try. Did you understand my question? Victor,
I don't think so.
okay. Louis, you there?
Yes.
Louis, you there?
Yes.
What is my question?
I wasn't listening.
We have 4 different modes, okay? Now, why are you using the mode here? Okay? Which mode is working in this case?
I don't know.
Okay, Aston. Huh?
Oh, whoops. I think X.
X? Any more? X gonna work indefinitely because X means what? Create, right? This file is not existing. Okay, so now if I run the code, not readable, yes, not readable because I just created the file, right? Let me do that, right? But if I run this, what I'm gonna see, the test.txt file is created, which means what? Which means if I'm using mode X, right? Then if I try to access the file which is not existing, it should create that, right? Okay, but be careful, okay? In this case, right, if the test.txt file is already exists, and now you call the function again, right, as you can see, you're gonna get the different error. Earlier we said a file not found, right? Here, file exists error. Because you're trying to create a file which is conflicting with the current existing file. Okay? Okay. So, but my question is, there are different ways to create a file, right? Among these 4 different modes, besides X, I can use A or W. Okay? So if you read the description of the mode, you're gonna see, hey, A means try to open the file and append the content to the current one. But if the file is not existing, it will also help you to what? To create the file, right? And in this case, if you what? If the file is already existing, right? And you open the file in this mode, it will not throw you error. Okay, because it's append, right? It's not create again. Same thing for W, right? It was W. I run this. Okay, as you can see, the file is created, right? Okay, so that is about how to create a file, right? Now, after we using W, open a file, right? How can I update the file? Nathan, how can I update the file?
I don't know.
Julian, I open the file. Now I wanted to update the content of the file. What should I do?
What?
I'm open the file. Okay, now I try to write something to the file. What should I do?
Same thing, but replace the W with R.
You didn't get my point. I said I already opened the file. Now I wanted to write things into the file. I need to update the content of the file, right? What should I do? What code should I write in now? Huh?
I'm thinking.
Why is you thinking? There's only very few functions. You should remember that, right? And if you do the assignment, right, it should be very clean, very clear, right? Louis,
Yes.
how can I write the content to the file? Louis,
Yes.
how can I write content into the file?
Content, I guess just do F open. Like that thing.
I already have open.
Oh, and then I think if you print something.
I don't know what you guys doing, okay? But I think some of you are not look at my screen. Listen carefully, I'm following, okay? Right now, I already opened the file. Okay, I open the file in the write mode. I wanted to write something into the file, right? So you should write f.write, okay, and put the content directory, right? Testing, writing, right? Content. Okay, so in this case, if you run the code, complete, and now you go to the test.txt file, you're gonna see the content. Okay, so this content is inserted by the program, right? Go back here. And again, we also said after you done the manipulation to the file, right? Is what's the best practice we should do? Listen, do you remember? After you've done the manipulation to the file, what should I do? I'm done.
F dot close.
Huh?
F dot close.
After close. Very good. Okay. After close means you release the file. Okay. Think about that, right? You open a drawer, right, and take out the book from the drawer, and after reading, you put it back, and then what? Close the drawer. Okay. Close the drawer. So that is the whole process when you finish a manipulation against the file. Right? Of course, besides write, we said we have a pen, right? We have a pen. So now, if I said f.write, okay, again, we are also still in the write. okay, said additional testing, writing, or appending content. Okay, so now if I run this, compare, what do you see? Right? It is writing to the end of the current content. Right? And of course, right, you can run again, but to be able to have a line break, I put /n. So /n in most of programming language means a new line. Okay? So now if I run the code and come here, you see it is have a line break. It has a line break. Okay? So now I close this. So I have created a file. Okay? Update the file, right? Again, we said read, right? Read is simple. After you've done this, okay, I said R. Now print after read. Again, it's a function, so in the practice, right? So now run this. Okay, you see, it print out the whole content of that, right? And we said you can also read what? Line by line. So here we're using, if we put index, okay. So here, what did this index mean here? Listen, do you remember what did this index mean here? 1. And do you see what I print out? If I said after
First letter.
first character, right? How many characters you want to print out? Put 10. They were showing 10. Okay, so that's the first character, right? And of course, we said that another way to print out the content line by line, right? Which is we're using the loop, okay? So for, you're using for square loop, X in what? In a file. Okay, and then what? Print X, print the content of one line. Now, if I run this, you can see, you see, content is printed line by line. Okay, so that is about how to read the file. Okay. One more things I want to talk about here is also used in the assignment, right? But I'm not sure you really understand, right? Suppose I already have this. Okay, let me make it simple. Content. Okay, in this testing.txt file, I have 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. Okay, in the assignment, right? I have a task set. I wanted to clone the file. What's the meaning of clone the file? So which means create a new file. Meanwhile, copy all the content from sourcing file to the new file. How can we do that? Louis, how can we do that? Julian, how can we do that?
Huh?
I'll get my question.
I still can't hear you.
You cannot hear me? And I just read this question till now. Okay, what about now? Can you maybe check your end because mine is maximum volume. Okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. My question is here. I already have a test.txt, and by the way, right, we may have to restart the meeting, okay? I have a test.txt, it has 3 lines in the file. Now I want to use the code to clone the file, so which means create a new file and copy the code. Okay, Julian, my question here is, I already have a test.txt. There's a 3 line. Okay? I wanted to write in code to clone a file, which means create a new file and copy the content over. How can we do that? Huh? Oh, I'm able to read, right? I'm print out the content, right? How can I do that? So you don't know, right?
I don't know.
Did you have finished the task in the assignment?
Yes, I saw it.
But then why you don't know this one? It's part of the assignment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Nathan, do you remember?
I think
Huh?
print.
Print what? I need to copy the content or clone the content to the new file. Print
Yeah.
what?
No.
What do
need
we
to
print?
read what's in the first file and then
Say
print.
that again?
Read what's in the first file and then print it to the new one.
Read from the first file and print into the second file? Is what you say?
Yeah.
How? How should I write? F? F1?
F.read.
F.read? M?
The first file's name.
F.read what?
Test.txt.
I already opened the file. Okay, I opened the file already. You want to read that, you just read that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you need to create a new file. Right? We can call that new.txt file. Right? You need to write it. Right? So you put a write W. So now what do you want to do? I want to copy everything from the test.txt to the new.txt. What should I do? Louis, remember? Louis?
Oh, yeah, I was on mute. I think you just do F equals open.c. I mean, like new text.
I already opened. I opened 2 files. Right? One is read, one is write. So now I want to write how to copy the content from test.txt to new.txt.
You just do Control C.
I'm not asking you to manually do that, right? I'm asking programming to do that. Right? Okay. Here we know, we just said, how can we loop every line in the file? We're in the loop, right? For X, or maybe more specific, right? 4 line in what? F. Of course, you need to put a different, okay? F source, okay? F target, because they're different file, right? Using F source. Then what? Listen, what should I do?
Another line. Print.
I need to write into the target file.
F target.
F target what?
Not right.
All right. Right what?
Line.
Line. Okay. Looping every line in the file source and write into the file target. That's it. What? Anything else? Anything else here?
F.close.
Yeah, file close. We have two files, right? Close it. I run this code. Finish, right? I didn't see anything print out, but I'm seeing the new.txt file is there, and if you open it, you see the contents copied over. Okay? And that is the way how you copy content from one to another one, right? Without knowing like how many lines do we have, right, in the file. So last one is I want to delete. Okay? In order to delete a file, right, we need to import a module. Do you still remember what's the module we need to import? Listen, what's the module we need to import to delete the file?
OC.
Huh?
OC.
O what?
C.
OS, okay? OS.remove and give the file name, right? Test.txt. Now let's take a look at that, right? It's gone. Test. Okay, Louis. Okay, so that is about the file handling. Any more questions? Victor, you said you don't understand, so now do you clear? Are you clear?
I'm copying it down.
Sorry, say it again, Victor. What did you say?
I'm copying it down.
Oh, you copied it now. Okay, fine. But actually, the same thing I already explained on Thursday, right? If you're not copying right now, you should even copy it on last Thursday. Okay? Anyway, so that is about the file handling. Fellas, you joined late, right? But are you following?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So today, right? Today is already the 9th class of the whole semester, right? Because we said there will be total 10 classes, right? I think that today is the 9th one, right? And next week will be the last class. So today we wanted to talking about another new content called NumPy. If you look at the diversity school, right? Python NumPy is a separate module. NumPy, okay. What is the NumPy? You can see it consists of number and a Python, right? You must know, oh, that's related to what? The number functions in the Python. NumPy is a Python library used to working with arrays. Okay, there are two keywords here. What is the library? Julian, how do you understand library?
Yeah.
How do you understand library? How? How do you understand library? What is the library in our daily life? Book library, right? What do we have in the book library? Tons of books, right? Many books.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How are we going to use these books? How? For the library, first, there should be have many books. Second, all the books are shareable, which means everyone can follow and use the book or read the book. Okay? So same concept here. When we say program or Python or any other language library, which means it's a combination of list of stuff, list of book, a list of functions, list of the object. Okay, that's called library, right? And then people can import the library and use in anyone else, right? In any other places. So NNum is a Python library, right? Working with arrays. What's the meaning of array? Aston, have you learned array before? Or have you know the concept of array?
No, not yet.
What is array? Aston?
I'm not sure.
Okay, you haven't learned, right? That's fine. So now let me show you some like a diagram. Array is a data structure, okay? Not this module. Array is a data structure to storing the data in the dimension structure. What does it mean? It's working with arrays. Array can have multiple level arrays, okay? Little bit like math relative topic here, right? Array can have different dimensions. What is a different dimension? 1D array here, as you can see, it's a horizontal, right? Just like a list, right? 3, 2, that's called a 1D array. 1D array, one dimension array. Okay, D means dimension. Dimension, D-I-M-E-N. Let me see if I can type it. Dimension, D for dimension. Okay, so we have 1D array and we have 2D array. 2D array means what? It have like a array, something like a dimension, something like a coordinate, right? X, Y, as 2D dimension, and 3D dimension. 3D dimension more like the, how to say, that's the X, Y, Z coordinate. If you remember in the maths, right? So we have, of course, there could be have like more than 3D array, right? 4-dimension array, 5-dimension array, and all of them are available here. So when we see 1D array, look at here. Look at this sample. Okay, 1D array, you can see there's one row. One row, so you only have the dimension is a row. A row is a dimension. And once 2D array, what do you see? You have a row and also you have a column. You have a row and also have a column. When I say 3D array, you have this line, you have this line, horizontal, vertical, and the, what's that called? If you have a insert. Okay, let me take a screenshot of this one. 2D array, 1D array, and 3D array. So in the 3D array, the coordinate will look like this. It is normal one, X, Y, and there will be absence like this. Okay? So now in your mind, you have a very basic concept model of array. Okay? Again, array can have multiple dimensions. Okay? Now let's take a critical character of array. Array has value and index. This sounds very similar to me, right? What are other places we're talking about index and array? Nathan.
List.
What?
List.
A list. Yes. In a list, we have ever talking about value and index. What's the relationship between value and index? Julian.
The index is how you find each value, and
Yes. So the index and the value, as you can see here, this example, the first one, right? How many index do I have here? Fellas, look at this line, this screen. How many index do I have here in this array? Fellas?
10.
10, very good, right? Again, we mentioned the index, the beginning index of array is starting from 0. Okay? 0, 1, 2, 3 in synchronous till 1, 9. But if you're counting 0 also, you totally have 10 different index. Am I right? Okay, then what are the box or bucket underneath the index? You see, we have box or index underneath the index. Okay, so what are those boxes for? Louis, what are those boxes for?
For like the length and everything.
For what?
It's to show like the index. Like -1 is what position and everything.
This blanket bracket is used to storing the value. So we said index and value. Index gonna be never change. Okay? Index gonna be never change, which means, oh, this is a 0 index. That means it's always 0. Okay? The value inside the bucket, right? And the bucket, each bucket had a label. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The bucket will not be changed, just like index. But the content or the value inside this array can be different. Okay, can be different. That is, an array has a value and index. Look at this example. Okay, this is 1D array. I have a value chain here. I have an index chain here. Also, you're gonna see this is the lower bound, okay, which is 0. This is upper bound, which is 8. Okay, so now, question, right? If I wanted to use the index, okay, to accept the value in the array, how can I do that? This is a 1D array, okay? How can I do that? Suppose I'm asking you, hey, give me the value 98. What is on the right? Louis, are you following? Louis, are you following?
Yes.
Did you get my question?
Yeah.
My question is, this is 1D array, okay? I wanted to accept the value, right, 98. What should I write?
That was
98 is here, okay? I want to accept this value.
4.
What is 4? What do you mean 4?
Like 4 from the index.
4 is the index. Yes, we can get the value based on the index, right? Based on index. But this is 1D, so which means you only need to put the 1 index. And now let's take a look at the 2D. 2D array has 2 dimensions, column, row. Okay, use row and column index to accept value. What does it mean? Okay, so as you can see, it's a two-way or 2D dimension array. Okay, have multiple row, have multiple columns. Okay, and they are index based. So which means if I wanted to get the value of a specific cell, I can use an index. How can I use that? What about 8? Listen, how can I get the value 8? Huh?
I don't know.
You don't know.
One
Listen
thing.
carefully. Okay? So here, we are using index also. But the difference of the index used for the 2D array and 1D array is 2D array need 2 index, which is what? Which is row and column. So here, if say so, if I wanted to accept the value 8, what will be the row index and what will be the column index? Nathan, can you tell me? What is the row index and what is the column index when I try to access of value 8?
1 and 2.
Huh?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Very good. What is 1? 1 is the index of the row. Do you see? Row. 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows. Total, I have 2 or 3 index. But the maximum index is 2, right? Because I'm starting from 0. 0, 1, 2. Okay? And then after you pick the row, next index will be your columns, which is 2 here. So, which means okay, 8 equals to array for the 2 index, right? 1, 2. Very good. Now, what about 21? Victor, are you following? Victor,
Yes.
are you following?
Yeah.
So make a try. If I wanted to,
21 is 2, 4.
2, 4.
2 comma 4.
Very good. Okay, 2, 4. Right. So here, I'm using, okay, if I generate that, right? So let me try again. 17. Fellas, try this. 17. What's the array index I should put? 17. Fellas?
Wait.
First the row index, then column index.
0, 0, 2.
0, 2. Very good. 0, 2. Okay, it's just like XY, right? Looks very close to the XY coordinate. Okay? But the difference is the 0, 0 starting from the up left corner. Okay, up left corner. So that's the array, right? So generically, we should the value is actually fetching by array dot what? Row index and column index. That's for what? 2D array. Okay. So today, this is a concept about array, right? If we understand that, now let's take a look at the NumPy module or library, right? See how it can help us to manipulate array. Okay, so array is a very important concept, not just in program. I think it's in math also. So especially in the program, when we do a lot of huge like data analysis, okay, we are using this array function a lot. Think about that, right? You have a data report related to the stock, okay? So the left column, right? The left column is all the stock name, right? All the stock name. And then the horizontal, the header row will be the day, okay? Will be the date, right? And then whatever in the cell is consists the stock value, right? The price, okay? So now if we said, hey, for Google stock, I want to see what's the price on data, you know, August 18. Now you found the Google row and you found the August 18 column. That's the way how you can find the corresponding price. That's the same concept of array, right? That's the same concept of array. So the data has to be organized. Now let's take a look at this NumPy module. See how it can make our life easy when we are manipulate array. Okay. So first of all, we need what? Import NumPy module as NP. Okay. Now let me go to here. Okay. Okay. Again, NumPy is a module. We want to use in the function from the module. We need what? First import NumPy. Okay. And again, we mentioned when you try to import something, you don't want to use the original name. You can give a simplified name or a line or NP1. Now I already import the module. How are we going to use that, right? Let's quickly go back to the WC school. Okay. Getting start. Okay, import NumPy, and then you see here, NumPy.array practice, and then put the practice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did this look like? Nathan, what did this look like?
That.
Huh?
That.
Set. It is a set.
Yeah.
It looks like a list. Okay, where you're in a square bracket. Right? Here, very important, we're using a function called array. Okay? Because you see the bracket, right? When the bracket is a function call. So now let's see here. Hey, I have imported NumPy as NP. So now I want to say that, hey, my array or just array. Okay, I create a variable to hold the array. NP dot array. What's the difference? This is NPY. NPY, but I'm using NPY because I already created alien at this, okay? And here I need to put the, it's actually a list, right? It's actually a list. Now I can what? Print out array. Print out the array. Okay, if I run this. One, two, three, four. Do you see here? This is called a 1D array. One dimension is one row. There's no column, right? It's one row. It's called 1D array. Okay. So since we're talking about, hey, array is very close to list, right? How we create a list? Fellas, do you remember how do we create a list?
Yeah, I think.
How?
Never mind.
Okay, we're in the square bracket, right? And then put the value directly. That's the way how we create a list. Very close the way how we create an array, right? But if I print out the list, it has a little bit different, right? A list is still using comma to the separator, but array is omit the comma. Okay, so a list is very close to one dimension array because that's only one row, right? List is one row, right? Put every content in the, put every item in the same row, okay? But the array is supposed to multiple dimension, right? Like we have 1D array, we have a 2D array, we have a 3D array. And also from the speed perspective, NumPy, when they're handling the array or the structured data, it will much faster. That's the reason why we should learn array and NumPy. Okay, so come back here. We have successfully to create an array. Very good. Okay, two things. Don't forget import NumPy. Give an alien, right? Give a lines, not alien, sorry. A lines which you can just simplify to using the lines to call the function. And using np.array to create a new array, right? Let's look at here. Okay, very good, right? We did it here. And so you can check the NP versions. Every module can check the versions, fine. Create any array. So we already create a simple one dimension array, right? Okay. Dimensions in array. Okay, now let's take the dimension array, right? I actually have that in my slides also. Okay, here. That's a different way how we create array for different kinds of dimension array. 0D array. What's mean of 0D? No row, no column, there's only one value, which is 42. In this case, we call that 0D array. If we have one row, we're gonna call it 1D array because we only have row, there's no column. There's no column, there's only one row, right? And if we have two row or two dimensions, look at here, okay? So which means what? You are not just have a row, you also have a column. Now let's take a look at how we create that, right? 2D dimension. So when we create 2D dimension, so this is 1D, I put some different name. It will be easy to know, distinction, right? 1D, oh no, sorry, we cannot put a number, right? At the beginning of the variable. Are you guys following? Are lost? Hello? Julian, do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have 1D array. Now let's create the 2D array, right? And say np.array. Now critical here. 1D, one dimension array is understand, right? It's just like a list. I put each item separate by comma. But 2D array, how? Let me tell you. You can think instead of a simple value, right, as an item, as a value for each item in a 2D array, so which means what? Every item is also a list. Okay? Every item is also a list or a dimension, right? You can understand, right? So now, okay, 1, 2, 3. That is my first row. Okay. 4, 5, 6. Second row. 7, 8, 9, third row. That's it. I created 2D array. Now, if you want to take a look at how it will look like, so let's print out 2D array and run this. Okay, let me commit this, right? So then you are not confused. Okay, what do you see? You see 2D, right? Remember our slides? 2D look like this, right? 2D is look like this. Row, 3 row, column, 5 columns. Look at here. How many rows do we have here? Victor, how many rows, how many columns do we have here?
I think we have 3 rows.
3 rows. How many columns?
3.
3 columns, very good. It's easy, right? 3
rows,
rows,
3 columns.
3 columns. Okay, so that is called 2D array. And we're just talking about how we can accept the value from the array, right? So now in this case, print 2D array. Ethan, how can I get the value 5?
Use index.
Huh?
Use the index.
What's the index? What's the index of value 5 here?
U and 2.
Huh?
Row 2, column 2.
I need an index. I don't need you to tell me row 2, column 2. What's the index for row 2, column 2?
I don't know.
Anyone? Aston? Aston, are you able to answer that? Look at this example, right? What's the index of 5 here?
Yeah, row 2, column 2.
I know row 2, column 2. I'm asking you what's the index for the row 2, column 2? Look at the example here. And tell me here.
2, comma 2.
Huh?
2, comma 2.
3, comma 2. Why 3?
2.
He said 2, comma 2.
2, comma 2. Are you right? Is it correct? I don't think it's correct. Try again.
Oh, 1, comma 1.
1, comma 1. Why is 1 not 2?
Because the first one is 0.
Yeah, remember index always starting from 0, right? No matter row, no matter column, look at here. The first row index is 0. Second row index is 1. Same thing for column. The first column index is 0. Second column index is 1. That's the reason why when we said, hey, 1, comma 1, print out 5. Right? Okay, fellas, try print out 9. What's the index for 9? Hello, fellas.
Hi.
Yeah, you get my question, right? So we just tried to access the value 5. We said, hey, we're using index 1, comma 1. Now I'm asking you if I wanted to access value 9, what's the index kind of using?
I don't know.
Look at here, right? You should understand this, right? Look at the example. Yeah, you just answer me, right? Hey, if I wanted to go to 17, so it means array 0, comma 2. Same thing here. It's a 2D array. I wanted to get the 9. What's the row index? First tell me, what's the row index? For the third row. What's the index for the third row? Alice?
I don't know.
Okay, here, right? First row index is 0, second row index is 1, third row index 2. Same thing here. So what is the index for the third row? Or the row for the 9? Victor, do you understand?
Yes, I think the columns are like the row is 3 and the column is 2.
The row is 3 and the column is 2.
Wait, I mean the row is 0 and the column is 2.
The row is 0, but row 0 means the first row, right? Here, okay, look at her 9. The value 9, which row he is? Third one, right? It's in the row third, right? The third row, right? What's the index for the third row? Tell me.
I'm not sure.
Okay, here. The index is starting from 0, from top to bottom. First row, index 0. Second row, index 1. Third row, index 2, right? It's basically row number minus 1. So now I'm asking you, what is row index for 9? 9 is in which row? Victor. It's in third row, right? What's the index for third row?
Yes.
Huh?
Wait.
There's 2, right? Third row is 2. How many columns? So the column is 2 again. What's the difficulty? Right? To run again, it print out 9. How about 7? Victor, try 7.
Three.
No, first starting from row index. What's the row index for 7?
1.
1. Do you know what's a row? This is called row. Row 1, row 2, row 3. Column in the vertical. 1, 4, 7, column 1, 2, 5, 8, column 2, 3, 6, 9, column 3. 7 is on row 3, column 1. Then what's the corresponding index? Julian, do you understand?
Yeah.
Tell me, what's the index?
The index is what the index is how you locate each value.
I know, I'm asking you, what's the index for value 7?
Oh. 0.
0 is what? 0 is column index, I guess, right? But we're starting
Yeah.
from row index.
Huh?
What's the row index of 7?
6.
What? I heard a 6. Listen.
2 0.
2 0, right? 2, third row index is 2. First column index 0. That, I mean, I don't know why it's so difficult to understand, right? Right? It's just like XY, right? You guys learn the math, right? In the XY and the coordinate, right? That's it. The only difference is the 0, 0 is the upper right up corner, right? Right, starting from 0, right? Okay, here, starting from 0, from top to the bottom for the row 1, row 2, row 3, column 1, column 2, column 3, right? Remember in the game design, right? We also learn about this, right? To locate an object in the screen. Same thing, okay? Okay, so now let's quickly finish that, right? So we don't have lots of time to, yep. So we learned to create 2D. Now we just set a 3D, one more dimension. 3D. How to understand 3D? If you understand 2D, it will be very similar. You just need one more level up. Okay? 3D array. Okay? Similar here. From 1D array to 2D array, every element will become another array. Same thing here. From 2D to 3D, every element will become another array. 1, 2, 3. Okay? 4, 5, 6. Right? 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18. Right? 19, 20, 21. 22, 23, 24. 25, 26, 27. Okay. Every single element becomes another 1D array again. Now let's print out how it looks like. All right, let me stop print out the second array and print out the 3D array. Because that's the console, it can only print out what? 2D layout, right? It can only print out 2D layout. If you have like a 3D imaging, you will understand the data look like this. X, Y, Z, 3 dimensions. Okay? But if you really look at this, right, it is still not quite difficult to understand it, right? Because as you can see, this is actually containing 3 2D array. Am I correct? Okay, remember when we print out the 2D array, it looks like this. And here, 3D array is like 1 dimension above the 2D. That's the reason why you're going to see first 2D array, second 2D array, third 2D array. Okay, so now in this case, I wanted to print out the value. How can I do that? I need a 3 index. I need a 3 index. Okay, 1 dimension, 1 index. The first index is, hey, what are which 2D array you are in? First one, second one, third one. And again, we said the index starts from 0. So the index for the first 2D array is 0. Second 2D array is 1. Third one, 2. Now, 14. If I want to print out the value 14, which means let me first get the index of the first level? 1. Why is 1? Because it's in the second 2D array. And then come here. After you only have this 2D, now you know 14 is what? Row index 1, column index 1. Now run this. 14. Are you guys following? Nathan,
Yes.
do you understand it?
Yeah.
Okay, now tell me. 9.
0, 2, 2.
0, 2, 2. Very good. 0 means, hey, first 2D array, come here. It's just narrowed down, right? Narrowed down, oh, the first 2D array is 0. 2 is the row index, 2 is the column index, right? So it's 9. Okay. Louis, are you still there? Louis?
I was muted. Yes, I was.
Okay, now tell me 19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see 19.
You cannot see 19. Your mind cannot see my full screen or what? Huh?
Okay, now I can.
What's the index here?
The index. I think it was I can't do
Hmm?
that.
What? We need the 3 index, right? The first index is which 2D array it is.
So it was
1, 2, 3. The index for this
7?
2D array is 7. Oh, the can you count 7? You're counting 1, 2, 3, 4 row? No, it's not in the same array. Okay, they are in a separate array, so you cannot just count the row. Right? I said this is 3-dimension array. It's not 2D array.
Oh, so just 1, 1, right?
Huh?
1,
1. Yeah. No, not 1. 2. Okay. Why? Because the index for this 2D array is it's a third 2D array, so it's index 2. And now inside this 2D array, what is 19? What's the row and column?
1 and 1.
1, 1. No. See, that's a proof you're not listening, guys. It's 0, 0. Okay. Repeat again. Every index is starting from 0. Okay, 19. So, Victor, do you want to try?
Yes.
11.
It's row 1, column 2.
It's row 1, column 2. I know it's row 1, column 2, but I need you to give me index. And I need the 3 index here, right? First, tell me which 2D array it is. We have 3 2D array, right? Which one? First one, second one, or third one? It's a second 2D array, right? Here, 11 here, right? So then what's the first index for the second 2D array? It's 1, right? And now, come inside the 2D array, we need to take a look at the row index and the column index. Row is the first row, so the index is what? Victor, what's the index for the first row? Victor? Index for the first row. Right, inside of this 2D array, okay, only look at this 2D array. This is the first row. The index is what? 0, right? Index is 0. And then what is the column? Is the second column, right? Index is 1. That's it. Julian, you understand it, right?
Yes.
24. You don't understand it. It's the third 2D array, second row, third column.
2, 3.
Huh?
2, 3.
No, there's 3 index. 2, 1, 2. Why is 2, 1, 2? Julian. Why is 2, 1, 2? 2 means what? 2 means it's a third 2D array. 1 means it is on the second row. Okay? 2 means it's in the third column. Again, okay, the index is starting from 0. Okay, guys, you guys have to working hard, okay? I have tried my best to teach you about that. And yeah, I think that's it for today's class, okay? So if you don't really understand, right, try to, okay, read the pages, right? Here it's telling you how to create an array and also how to access it, right? How to access it, right? So you see array indexing, right? That's very important, array indexing, okay? Array 0 is the first one, right? This 1 is the second one. Okay, you can also using the value, right? If it's 2D array, you need to put 2 index, row and column, right? Simply here, row and column. If it's 3D array, you need to put 3 index. First, you need to tell the first set of the 2D array, then row index and column index. That's it. We didn't talk about negative, but I've talked about negative index in the list, right? Negative means what? Counting from the end. Okay, counting from the end. Here, we just said 24, right? 24 is the last column, right? We said column index 2. You can also put what? -1, because that's the last column. Okay, that's it. Any more questions? All right, though you are not guys speak out, but I guess you guys have questions. Okay, anyway, try to read and test the pages by yourself, okay? And if you have a question, okay, I have to repeat again on Thursday. Okay, that's it. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.